Oh, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the GXHockeyCast. We're on episode 137. Connor Hellebuck of My Little Hockey Show, where once a week I go through all of the major news and what's happenings around the league. I'm not going to say this anymore. Not really focused on just the Leafs and the Flames, because I'll be talking about all the teams, but the Flames and the Leafs are my favorite teams, so I like them a lot. Bro, we got some shit to cover, man. The freaking trade floodgates have opened up, and we're gonna do that right now. Let's just freaking get into it, and let's start with a trade that actually pleased me quite a bit, and it's a trade with the Calgary Flames and the Philadelphia Flyers. All right, let's go to the Calgary side of this one first. Coming to Calgary is Joel Farabee, left winger, and Morgan Frost, a center. I am very pleased with this. So going out is Andrei Kuzmenko and Jacob Pelletier with some picks. We'll talk about that more in depth in a moment, but let's do this side. So Joel Farabee, I know he's been struggling this year in Philadelphia, but I really like this player. Mostly on a fantasy aspect because, I don't know, he kind of popped off last year in fantasy and he had a nice season. He's only 24 years old, so, if there is some offensive potential that's uncovered, there's probably not much of it. I think at this point we kind of know what Farabee is, but I like him, man. He's kind of all over the place, and yeah, so this season he's only got 19 points in 50 games. Quite a dip from last year's production that he was doing. He had 50 points in 82 games last year, a career high. Other than that, he's generally 38 points, 34, 39. So you're looking at a guy. Those were some shortened seasons, though. So you're looking at maybe, I don't know, he's kind of hard to gauge. I would say you're looking at like a 45-point player here on the regular, hopefully. Now, if that's what the Flames are adding here, fantastic. Because, straight up, very happy that the Flames are adding instead of selling. So they've confirmed they're holding on to Anderson. They're not selling Kadri, no Uyghur. No one's moving off of this team. And they added, so that's great. I think it's very awesome to reward this team for the great performance that they put on this season. I mean, Dustin Wolf has emerged. He is a legitimate goaltender. Without Dustin Wolf this year, the Flames probably would be a lottery-bound team somewhere near the bottom of the league. Not that Vladar has been, devastatingly bad, but he's still, I've always been rooting for Vladar, man. Ever since he got to Calgary, I was like, oh, this guy's going to be amazing, and just hasn't quite gotten there. Thankfully, Wolfie has taken over the number one duties, and he has been fantastic. I believe he got named Rookie of the Month and all that, and I think it's getting more of a conversation for Dustin Wolf for Calder, man, because let's say the Flames do make the playoffs, and Wolf is going to have a major role in the Flames making the playoffs this year. So, honestly, over Celebrini to Wolf, right now, I think I'm kind of edging towards Wolf, for what he's done, and it is no easy task being a starting goaltender in the NHL, and I think what Wolf has done this year is nothing short of fantastic. So, great job from Wolfie. Back to the trade. So, Farabee coming in here, I like him. I think maybe he's just been kind of worn down by the Tortorella system, and he's just kind of same thing with Frost. But Farabee coming in, adding in a little bit of, I don't know where he's going to slot in just yet. I didn't get to watch the freaking Leafs-Flames game last night. I had to work, but yeah, I haven't seen where they've put him in just yet into the lineup, but I'm very excited about this trade. I like Joel Farabee, and of course they got in Morgan Frost as well, who at points has been a fairly highly touted prospect. He is a former first-round pick, 27th overall, and he's 25? I thought he was younger than that. All right, well, that's fine. Regardless, he is a left shot center. I know they really want that right shot center. I know they're really looking at Dylan Cousins. I don't know if Buffalo's going to trade him, but by the sounds of it, they said 2/3 of the league have acquired about Dylan Cousins in Buffalo. And I would have to imagine there's got to be one or two deals in there somewhere that the Buffalo Sabres are I don't know if we can say no to this, even though it's almost a guarantee that Cousins is going to move on from Buffalo and be amazing. But he has shown some signs of life in Buffalo. He had a hat trick recently, so maybe they hold on to him, maybe they don't. I love to see Dylan Cousins become a Flame. That would be very cool. But Morgan Frost, so pretty rough season so far for him. Hold on, let's just see how he did this season, actually. So in 49 games, he's got 25 points. Not horrible, 11 goals, minus 11, and he's only averaging how much ice time? Only 15 minutes, so he's lower than the last three seasons, the lowest average ice time in the last 3 seasons that he's had. A career high of 46 points in the 22-23 season, where he saw 19 goals, 27 assists. So again, it seems like the Flames are adding in a point every other game type players. There could be more there. It could be more in a change of scenery, new coach that isn't Tortorella. Maybe we see more offense out of these guys. Morgan Frost did score a goal as a Flame already, so that's good. Apparently it was a really nice goal. I didn't get to see it because I work freaking nights, y'all. I don't get to watch a lot of live hockey and stuff like that. But regardless, man, I really like this trade. The Flames get a little bit younger, and yeah, dude, I'm rather excited about this. I like these players. We'll see if they're able to get into that lineup, fit in really nice. Now, the Flames do lose some people, obviously, in this trade. Now, one of them I'm completely fine with, and that is Andrei Kuzmenko. Fine with them moving off of him. He really hadn't done anything this season for the Flames. It seems like Kuzmenko is a good first-season guy. His first season with Vancouver, he was great. Came in, was a great Flame for a minute, and now maybe he's going to be a hot flyer for a second. But everyone's like, oh, fuck, Kuzmenko and Tortorella, that just seems like a match made in hell, because, oh boy, those two just don't seem like they will be compatible. But regardless, completely fine with them moving off of Kuzmenko. They get off of that contract, and yeah, he just hasn't done anything. What I don't love is them moving off of Jacob Pelletier. You know, someone had to go. And, yeah, Pelletier, it sucks because he's a younger player, 23 years old. He was, you know, not amazing or anything. Like, he's probably just be a career bottom 6 guy. He's only cracked, well, shit, he hasn't played a lot of games, period. And this season, he only had 24 games. 11 points in those 24 games isn't awful at all. But, yeah, they're looking for a little more of an upgrade there. Maybe guys that can crack into that top 6, middle 6 area, you know, top 9 forwards and stuff like that. But they add in that offense. I like it. They really didn't lose all that much offense, so I really like the trade. And they trade off a 2nd round pick in 2025 and a 7th round pick in 28. So be it, man. I mean, I like what the Flames are doing here. You know, they don't look like a team that's going to do a hell of a lot of damage in the playoffs, but who knows, man? Like, you get a hot goalie, You can do some damage if you have a really good goaltender, and it looks like Wolf is just that. Now, there's no, like, killers when it comes to the Flames. Like, Huberdeau isn't a killer. Kadri's, like, good, but he's no killer. They don't really have any killers on the Calgary Flames. Now, maybe Coronado will develop into that killer one day. He's still got a little bit of work to do there, but yeah, I don't know if the Flames are done yet. I think they really, really want to bring in Dylan Cousins. I know almost every time I watch SportsCenter and the Flames are being discussed, they're always talking about acquiring a right shot center, and that's exactly what Cousins is. So what could they trade to get that? I mean, a Dylan Cousins, with the league interest, I think it would take quite a bit, like 1st round plus, a prospect, maybe a roster player as well. May not take that much because of Cousins' pretty rough season, but you know, you got to take that with a grain of salt. He's playing with Buffalo. So, yeah, everyone generally does pretty bad when they're playing for the Buffalo Sabres, but I'm down with that trade for the Calgary Flames. But let me know what trade you think was better and all of that great stuff. But hold up, there's still a couple more details that I'd like to get into with this trade here. Let's talk about the salary cap situation. So, there is a little bit of a concern with the salary of Mr. Joel Farabee, which is at $5 million for this season. 1, 2, 3 more after this one as well. At $5 million. Now, if he can get back up to that like 50-point range with the salary cap exploding, I really don't think it would be all that bad. Even if he is only a 35, 40-point player, yeah, $5 million is not ideal, but like I said, he's 24 years old, salary cap's going up, new change of scenery, all that stuff. I still feel good about the trade, even though $5 million is a little bit expensive for a guy that's under half a point a game, but I am encouraged that he will be able to get back up to those levels. And in terms of Morgan Frost, he's making 2.1 right now, and then he's an a restricted free agent. So Calgary's going to have some control there, and I would like to think that he would re-sign a team that's interested in him, but he doesn't really have all that much of an option other than to sign. So I'm thinking probably a 1 or 2 year deal. I don't think it would be very many. And we're just going to have to wait and see how he does with the Flames and what his role is going to look like. But right now, it says that the Flames have $17 million in cap space. Is that correct? That's insane. That's freaking amazing. And they have extra draft picks. They have 2 first-round picks in 25. They have 2 first-round picks in 26. They have an extra third. So Calgary could do something with the extra first. They could try and get Cousins for that. I imagine they're trying. Would you trade a Kadri to acquire a Dylan Cousins? Me personally, no, because I think Kadri is a pretty fucking important player to that team. He brings that experience and leadership. And he's won before, so yeah, I would like them to try and hang on to Kadri, though his $7 million cap hit, it's a little bit high, but I like Kadri and what he brings to the Flames. Anyway, yes, still like the trade. I just wanted to clear up that salary cap because I know that was a concern for some people. It is a little expensive for Joel Farabee, but again, they're paying that money to Kuzmenko and he wasn't doing anything. So I'm good with it. I would say the Flames win this trade today. We'll see what that second round turns into, and hell, who knows what Jacob Pelletier could do. I kind of like him, the idea of him being a Philadelphia Flyer. He's a little bit rough and tumble, so yeah, I think he can fit in there pretty nicely. All right, let's move to the main event trade. Let's talk JT Miller and the New York Rangers. It finally happened. Inevitably, it was going to happen. So here we go. Here's the details. New York Rangers acquired JT Miller, Jackson Dorrington, and Eric Brandstrom. In exchange, going to Vancouver is Philip Hedl, Victor Mancini, and a conditional first-round pick. All right, so we kind of know what JT Miller is already, and he's already scored 4 points in 2 games as a Ranger. 2 goals, 2 assists, Hayathon. So it looks great for the Rangers already. Basically, they've upgraded on Philip Hedl, moved that to JT Miller, bam, you win. So off right away, so Rangers win this trade today. But Philip Hedl, so he's had injury problems, man, and he's struggled to get it going, but when he's going, he looks really good. It's just injuries, man. These injuries keep preventing this player from getting where he wants to go. And in 41 games, he's got 11 goals, 9 assists. Not great. He's 25 years old, former first-round pick in 17, 21st overall. He's 6'2", shoots left, 204 pounds. Pretty big boy. But yes, we know that there's been a ton of injury problems over the last 2 seasons. Last season, he only got into 10 games. And he got 6 points in those 10 games. And this season, doing well, man. Like, in terms of health, he's 41 games played. Pretty good. Now, last time he's had a close to full season was 22-23, 74 games, 22 goals, 23 assists, 45 points. So, there is a potential 20-goal scorer here if he can remain healthy. And where is he going to slot in with the Vancouver Canucks? Don't think he might have an assist here. Hold on, this last 5 games here. Hell, he's got 2 points in 2 games as a Vancouver Canuck, a goal and an assist. So not bad. They didn't win their first game after the trade, but they beat Colorado. They shut out Colorado, and that's not an easy thing to do. So that's good. Philip Hedl, man, it all comes down to his health. If he can remain healthy, that's great. They add in a younger player, and obviously they finally deal with the JT Miller situation. Let's just take a sidebar here and talk about the unbelievable failure that is the Vancouver Canucks and the management of this situation. These are professional athletes that are making millions and millions of dollars per year. And, I get paid substantially less. And I am still expected to get along with my peers, whether I like them or not. I still have to treat them with some form of respect or just ignore them and do my own thing. And you're telling me that these guys, these two fucking guys, making $11 and $8 million, professional fucking athletes, you guys can't sit there and put your shit to the side and just rather ignore each other, leave each other alone, or just fucking bury the hatchet somehow. Like, the success that they had last year, you were one game away from getting to the third round of the playoffs, and who knows what would have happened then. You didn't even have your fucking goalie. Like, this seems to happen every freaking time Vancouver is good. They can only be good for so long. You cannot have sustained success in Vancouver, and it's freaking ridiculous, man. That was the best Vancouver team I have seen in a long freaking time, and they're just gonna let it crumble because they don't like each other? Bullshit. This is professional NHL hockey players. And you got management, you got all these things, and you're telling me you guys couldn't get these guys to fucking get along? Like, unfreaking believable. I just can't let that go, man. Like, you had JT Miller, a 100-plus point player, just playing amazingly, and you got him on a great deal, and you just fucked it up. And I think JT Miller, like, I would love to have JT Miller on the Leafs, man. He just seems like that kind of guy that's going to kick an ass or two, yell at a teammate to get their fucking head out of their asses. And I think you need that every once in a while. It's just Petey Pettersson is just not that dude. A lot of people in the world today do not like being told what to do, what they're doing wrong, and how they can improve. People fucking hate that shit. And JT Miller seems like the guy that has no problem telling you what you're doing wrong, so on and so forth. But, JT Miller's a really good player. I know he has deficiencies, but, he goes out there and tries, and I like that passion. It just kind of reminds me of Matthew Tkachuk and the Calgary Flames, where the Flames got tired of fighting for Tkachuk and with Tkachuk, and Tkachuk was just baffled. He was like, you fucking guys don't want to go to war? Then why are you in the NHL? Like, why are you here? Do you not want to win? And he took his talents to South Beach, and he went to Florida, and look at him go, won a Stanley Cup. And, I look back on that, and I go, fuck, they made the wrong move, man. They proved to Tkachuk, the Flames did. They proved to Tkachuk that we're not going to fight with you. We're not in this battle with you. We don't want this. And Tkachuk knows. He knows that's what you need. You need that kind of you need to have that dog in you to win in the NHL. And he saw that his team didn't have it, and he left. And I will never blame him for that. I will never hold that against him. I purchased a Calgary Flames Tkachuk jersey after he got traded because I was so not salty about it. I was like, I'm so proud of you, actually, for doing that, because so many other NHL players would just be like, oh, no, I'll just sign the 8-year deal and I'll just be in Calgary and we'll never win, because they didn't want to get into the fire with me. And Florida did, and they won a cup. So there's that. Now I look at JT Miller and Pettersson, and I kind of see the same thing here, where I see a guy in JT Miller that wants the battle, that wants to improve, that wants everyone around him to be better, and he's not afraid to go after someone to get more out of them. And sadly, that just doesn't always work all the time, but when you're Pettersson, man, and you're making the most money on the team, and you've been dog shit ever since you signed that fucking contract, like, if I was Pettersson, I would be like, you're fucking right, dude. You're absolutely right. Like, I am not performing up to my standards, and this is horseshit. Pettersson has been like the 5th best player on the team since he signed that contract, and he makes so much more money than everybody else, and he's just not living up to it. And he's still, like, even with Miller now you thought the pressure was on. Now, kiddo, just watch now. All the lights are on you. They just got rid of your problem. They just got rid of your excuse. So now what? Now what are you going to do? If you suck now, you got no fucking JT Miller to blame. You got nobody to blame but your fucking self. So this is why I always get worried when people sign the big contracts and you lose that fire to earn your money. And if you give them that safety blanket, why do I have to perform up to my top standards every single night? And, I'm not saying that's his mentality, but that's what it looks like on the stat sheet. That's what it looks like on the ice. And I'm just disappointed. Like, I'm not a Vancouver Canucks fan, but I'm disappointed in that organization. I mean, they've really been a little bit of a black stain for me ever since the riot. I have really never looked at Vancouver the same way ever since. I used to love the Canucks. I fucking love the Canucks, but ever since that really soured my opinion on that, not even just the team, just how they responded to losing. I really just did not like how all that went down. Made us look like a bunch of sore fucking losers. But now, so they're basically, it feels like they're letting the prisoners run the asylum right now in Vancouver. The utter failure on the management, was it Patrick Alvin that's running that team, to let this happen, to just let this team fall apart. Now you're trading off guys and you're bringing, like, you're downgrading your team. Like, I'm sorry, but Philip Hedl is not a upgrade over JT Miller. That's a downgrade. And you bring in Mancini, and I hear great things about Mancini. He seems like he's a nice prospect, and we'll just have to wait and see. But that's not the position that Vancouver's in right now. They're not in a wait and fucking see. They're in a win now mode, and they're right there, and they're blowing it. They just blew it, man. Like, your team's getting worse, and now you're kind of letting Pettersson know, like, oh, if anyone's pissing you off, we'll just get rid of them, man. It's no big deal. And how long does that go on before he's gone too? So I think, yeah, he bought himself some time. He's going to have to perform, dude. He's got to perform to that $11 million contract that he just has not lived up to yet. And the lights are on. And they're shining bright on Pettersson right now. So now he's going to, like, I would imagine he's going to move up, and he's going to get JT Miller's line mates. Now, that was kind of the issue before. Pettersson's running a line with no good wingers. Well, they brought in DeBrusk. They brought in fucking Danton Heinen. Yeah, it's not the best, but they tried. So now you're going to have Brock Besser. You're going to have Garland. You better play, man, because it's going to be a rough offseason if Pettersson and the Canucks, they miss the playoffs. And then what do? You're going to trade off Pettersson, and then you're just going to let Quinn Hughes, one of the greatest generational defensemen of our era, just waste away back there. I feel so bad for this guy. Like, he's sitting there. All he wants to do is be a professional. And, like, why is all this drama fucking tanking our season, taking our team, and just taking all the fucking momentum away from us? It's bullshit, man. It's fucking bullshit. Very disappointing in the Canucks and how all this is just played out. And they let them win, man. They let this thing that happened, like, this has got to be a situation in almost every locker room in the league, but only the Canucks could let it just blow up this much and be this massive story and an utter failure to just let JT Miller go like that. You know, they didn't get nothing for him. Like, yeah, they got stuff back. It's just like, fuck, dude. Like, that team was so good, and you were so close, and you just gave up on it. Yeah, just gave up. So we'll see where it goes with the Canucks from there. I mean, I think Hedl's a solid player. We'll have to wait. Like I said, I don't really know much about Mancini other than I really like his name. That's a great name. But, yeah, dude, there it is. JT Miller's gone. I think the Rangers win this trade today. But what can the Rangers do? I think they're too far away to get back into the playoff race. They're not really in there still. Like, they're winning some games, they're playing a little bit better, but they're still quite a ways out from the wild card. They're behind the Canadiens, the Islanders, Blue Jackets, Bruins, Lightning, Red Wings. They got 54 points. Red Wings at the top of the wild card. We're talking 61 points to get into an Atlantic division. Or sorry, they're in the Metro, right? Are they in the Metro? Yeah, they're in the Metro. To get into a Metro third place spot, they got 66 points. You're fucking 12 points out. I don't think the Rangers have enough in them, man. I just don't think it's going to be enough. Thankfully, JT Miller signed long-term, so they can try again next year with JT Miller, and hopefully he doesn't get into too much drama while he's there. You know, it seems like JT Miller has an expiration date, and it's not very long before he starts to rub people the wrong way and turn the locker room against him or whatever is going to happen. But he's been there before, so they might know how to handle him. I don't know. They seem really interested in each other. Seems like a match made in heaven. Good start for JT Miller at least, but I think it's too little too late for the Rangers. I don't think it's going to get them into a playoff spot. They might get close, and it might be just a fucking wasted season for the Rangers, man. Like, these were the years they were supposed to capitalize and it's only going to get harder from here. Those guys get older, the ELCs are gone, so yeah, man, it's not great, but at least they got JT Miller, and that is finally fucking done, and we don't have to hear about it anymore. Now, in terms of that conditional first-round pick, I didn't see what that condition was. I would have to imagine maybe some sort of playoff thing. I will try and look into that right now, actually. Let's do that. Let's go find that answer. All right, the answer has been found. It is a top 13 protected first-round pick in 2025. So, if the Rangers don't really improve anywhere and they fall down, then I'm guessing that pick will move to 2026. There's a very good chance that it would be a top 13 pick, so Vancouver may not get a pick this year. They may get it next year, but there is that protection. All right, so we got that answer. Let's move on. We got more trades to talk about, y'all. Let's talk about another Vancouver trade. This one's much better. This one I actually kind of like. So Vancouver acquires Marcus Pettersson, defenseman, and Drew O'Connor from the Pittsburgh Penguins. The Penguins acquired Danton Heinen, Vincent Desharnais, Melvin Fernstrom, and a conditional first-round pick. Ah, dear. There's another condition I'm going to have to try and find the answer for. So Marcus Pettersson so we talked last week about Kyle Dubas saying there will be a fire sale. It looks like the sale has begun. So Marcus Pettersson, Drew O'Connor, didn't even know Drew O'Connor was on that team, but there you go. So Pettersson was definitely on that list of players to get traded, and off he goes. He's a good defenseman. I like him. And it's going to help the Canucks. They could use some help back there on the blue line. There's been some injuries there, and just to take a little bit of the pressure off of Quinn Hughes. He does a lot. And Hronik's back in the lineup now, so that's good. But, good add in Pettersson. I like that player. Drew O'Connor, don't really know a whole lot about that player. He hasn't played. All right, he played 53 games this year. He's got 16 points, 26 years old, 6'3", big body. All right, so that guy's there. Not bad. Pittsburgh acquires Danton Heinen and Vincent Desharnais. So, Vinny Desharnais, not like the best defenseman, but he's a body, and they will use that body. And then Danton Heinen. He's, a decent middle six forward. Every once in a while, you can pop him up in the top six for, if an injury happens. But, clearly Pittsburgh selling off assets, bringing in what they can. I don't know who this Fernstrom kid is, but a conditional first-round pick. Imagine that will be some sort of top whatever protected, but I don't think, I feel like Vancouver could still make the playoffs. It's not guaranteed, but they could. So at least they're smart enough to protect their pick. That's good. And Pittsburgh's doing what they need to do. Vancouver trying to add. So they don't think the season's over yet. I like that move for them. So that one's okay. We go to Dallas. We got Mikael Granlund and Cody Ceci coming over to Dallas from San Jose. I like this move for both sides. So San Jose acquires a first-round pick in 25 and a conditional third-round pick in 25. So that condition is if if Dallas makes it to the Stanley Cup Finals. If they do not, it becomes a fourth. So more, I won't say, but so that condition is there. Michael Granlund, been an absolute stud for the San Jose Sharks this year. I don't think he's going to bring that level of production to Dallas, but they get him into that top six. It looks like he is there, a replacement for Tyler Seguin while he is out, and it seems like a good fit so far. I believe he's already got a point on the board. And then Cody Ceci. We know that Dallas is weaker on the right side now if they lost Tanev and Hakanpää. I don't think Cody Ceci's on the level of either of those players, but they are addressing a need that they need back there. And, of course, Heiskanen, he's hurt. That's bad. Very not good. He is a very useful player for them, so they're trying to address that need as well. Harley's up there playing top minutes now. That's nice. And, so I don't think Dallas is done. I think they're still probably going to want to add there. I think Heskainen's going down for surgery, so he's going to be out for a few weeks. As long as he's ready to go for playoffs, I don't think Dallas is too worried about that. They're in a good position in the standings, and they make the deal early. So, I'm very happy with what Dallas does right here. And then San Jose, they get picks. Doing what they need to do, man. They're getting some more picks. It's not going to be a crazy pick or anything. If it does, or the first round pick's going to be a late late first round pick, and it already sounds like this draft is a bit top heavy. Like there's some really good names at the front, but the rest is, we'll have to wait and see, man. I'm not going to say that it's weak. It's way too early to say that these players won't turn out, and who's to say that San Jose won't find a diamond in the rough in the late first round. So San Jose doing what they need to do. They have 8,000 draft picks, and there you go. So they free up some salary, which you don't really need to do, but cool. All right, and that's all the big trades anyway. So what do you think? Who do you think won all these trades? I think Calgary did well. Rangers did, not bad, and Vancouver up in the air. Up in the air, I think they did good considering. I feel like they got a pretty decent haul for JT Miller. I mean, he is a 100-point player. It already looks like he's fitting in very well with the Rangers. He's familiar with those guys already. Loves Vinny Trocheck. They get to play together now. Oh, that's just nasty, man. That's not a fun team to play. Though they don't have Trouba anymore, but fucking JT Miller and Trocheck, that's not fun. So I think the Rangers did okay. They didn't give up I know they gave up Mancini, but there was some other highly touted prospects that they were just like, nope, you're not gonna have them. You're not getting them. They still have Keandre Miller. They didn't give up Lafreniere. They didn't give up any of those kind of guys. I know Lafreniere's been talked about, but he's still there, and there you go. So I don't think the Rangers got better, and Vancouver got a little more deep. So there is that, and it's not like JT Miller was performing up to his standards either. Obviously, it was a whole team cancer situation that they let it get that bad, which, again, just goes to the failure of the management of this situation. I don't know what they fucking said to each other or did to each other to let this devolve into such a toxic relationship. I don't know. I'd love to be a fly on the wall just to watch these two interact with each other and what's the issue here? It really just seems like oil and water. These guys just do not mix. But again, this is not uncommon in the NHL. There's tons of players that play with each other that don't fucking like each other, and they get over it and they do their thing. But every once in a while, man, that just gets so bad, I guess, that you gotta trade them. And we'll see if Vancouver can recover, get back into a playoff spot, and let's see if they could do some damage in the playoffs again. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, I think the Rangers get a little bit better. Penguins are getting rid of people. San Jose's getting rid of people, and you're starting to see the contenders adding players like Dallas. Now I'm waiting for teams like Toronto. I'm waiting for Eastern teams to start doing stuff because I was expecting more of a shock or a shockwave across the East after the Rantanen trade, but seems like they're staying pretty quiet. Well, aside from the Rangers, I mean, that's a pretty big deal, but I don't think the Rangers are making it. So there you go. Anyway, let me know what you think of all those trades. I don't think there was any big signings. All right, let's get back to the other stuff. All right, so let's talk about a team that could be involved in the trade deadline here, but are they going to be selling or are they buying? I don't know, and that team is the New York Islanders, who have been winning some freaking games right here. So they just went on I lost everything. Oh, how fantastic. I love when that happens. All right, let's get back to it. How big was that win streak? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 game winning streak for the Islanders, and that got them back into the playoff race, but not into a playoff spot. And they have been playing some fucking sound hockey, man. Very defensively responsible. The most goals they let in during that 7-game win streak is 2. 4-1, 3-1, 3-1, 3-2, 5-2, 3-0, and 3-2. Oh, man, that is some quality freaking hockey right there. And they're doing all of that without their best defenseman, Noah Dobson. I don't think Varlamov is back yet, but Sorokin, bro, has been holding down the fort, and this team can't score to save their freaking lives, man. Their power play is like a league worst, 12%. They can't score. They don't have any players even close to a point a game right now, but they're winning. So this has got to be really frustrating for the Islanders because they're in that mucky middle, man. Like, you look at their team and you're like, there's really not nothing. There's, especially forward-wise, like Barzal is there, but he's not. He's only got 20 points in 30 games. He's injured again, and he's just been an injury-filled season for him. Bo Horvat's been pretty good, but he's never really been a point-a-game player. And yeah, man, their scorers are getting older. Anders Lee, Brock Nelson, they're not getting any younger. And yeah, there's really not a lot of like young guys coming up. They have that Klipashov guy who's doing okay, but is there any young prospects that like Islander fans are like, oh, this guy's going to be amazing when he gets up here? I hear no buzz around them like that, but they're winning. They just keep winning, and I think a lot of that's going to go on Sorokin and the defense. But what a job by like Romanov, man. This guy has taken on a huge role, and they've been thriving with him playing big minutes, man. He's really stepped up. He's been playing very good. They signed fucking Tony DeAngelo. He's back in the NHL. He's been putting in some points. So like, very impressed with what the Islanders are doing right now, and they're beating some good teams here too. Now, I do see the Philadelphia's on this list 3 times, but you know, they're not a horrible team, but they beat Carolina, Colorado, Tampa Bay, and the Vegas Golden Knights. Now, they lost to Florida, got pummeled by Florida, but they came right back and defeated the Vegas Golden Knights. So if the Islanders can keep up this play, now I don't expect them to go on 7-game winning streaks and then lose 1 and back to 7 games in a row. Very unlikely that is the case, and it's got to be a real pickle right now for Lou Lamoriello and the owners of this team. Like, what the fuck do we do, man? Like, we're on fire right now. What do we do? Do we shake up the lineup? Like, do we go through with some of those trades that we planned on doing? Like, Brock Nelson seems like a huge trade target for a lot of teams right now. Are you going to move that guy when you guys are on a, winning 9 of your last 8 games and you're on your way into a playoff spot? Like, is that something you want to play with? Now, right now, in a wild card situation, the Islanders are still out. No, wait, no. Where are they? There they are. Okay, so they're still out, obviously, but they're not far. They have 57 points, 53 games played, and they're going to be trying to catch teams like the Red Wings, the Lightnings, the Bruins. The Blue Jackets are ahead of them, 59 points, 60-61. So 3-4 points behind, but to crack into the Metro, that's tough. They are quite a bit behind the Devils at 66 points. Doubtful you're catching the Hurricanes. Your Capitals are gone. They're at 77 points. They're fucking out of here. Could be President's Trophy winners this year. But those are hard teams, man. You can never count out Tampa. They're the Tampa Bay Lightning. The fucking Bruins are the Bruins. And for some reason, the Red Wings are like the Hot Wings right now. They keep pulling off wins. And it's wild to see right now. You got, yeah, man. So the Devils might be in trouble if they... we talked about them last week and how they've lost a lot of games recently, and they're kind of going through a kind of a 2/3 of the season slump, and they got to get out of that. And I think Markstrom's hurt again, so it's not going to be easy. You got so many teams just nipping at your heels right now. Islanders are on fire. Blue Jackets still in there. It's a very interesting race this season, I must say. Every team just seems to go on a winning streak and they get themselves back into the fold. And that kind of seems to be the case for every single team in the East, except, well, you know what? Everyone's like pretty tightly compact, except for the Sabres. They're pretty out. But yeah, man, I don't know. If I was the Islanders, I'm looking at this team. I'm not convinced. I think it's time for a little bit of a retool with the Islanders, out with the old, try and bring in some new life here. Like, I think it's time to move on from the Brock Nelsons, the Anders Lees, the Kyle Palmieris. Get off of those guys. But man, the Islanders have been so bad at fucking developing they're the Wallstrom, and like there's just been a lot of guys, man, that just really haven't cracked into that lineup. How much longer are they going to keep Lou Lamoriello around for, man? Like, he just doesn't do enough, He doesn't really make those big moves. He doesn't make those big signings. He's just kind of keeping the team stagnant, kind of in that mushy middle spot where they might make the play, might squeak into a playoff spot, or they're going to pick like 17th overall in the first round and hope for the best. Like, it's not a great place to be. So if you were the Islanders, if you're Lou Lamoriello, what the fuck are you doing with this team right now? You just went on a huge winning streak. You're beating good teams. You're playing well, but you can't score. You just can't. That's been an Islanders problem for a very long time. They just don't have a goal scorer. Is there a goal scorer on the market that is available? I mean, maybe Brock Besser, but I don't know if Vancouver want to trade him right now. And, pretty much guaranteed that Brock Besser is going to be a Minnesota Wild next year. But I don't know, man. I don't think there's a guy out there that's going to help their scoring woes. Their power play is abysmal. And, man, they're really working Sorokin down to the bone. And if they do make it into a playoff spot, like, how much gas is Sorokin going to have to get them? Like, I don't think they're going to be all that deadly if they make it. Oh, that's not true. They could be a problem, man. Just that way that they're defensively made. Like, they're a fucking phenomenal defensive team. It's just those goals dry up, like, really bad. And it seems like really, really bad right now. They really cannot score. So let me know what you think what the Islanders can do. Thankfully, I don't make those decisions, but not a great spot to be for the Islanders. Like, yeah, it's nice to win a whole bunch of games, but even with all those games, the Blue Jackets, Devils, Hurricanes, Capitals are all ahead of you. So, yeah, that just goes to show how kind of mediocre they've been this season. But hey, at least you had one good win streak this season. That's nice. And speaking of nice, let's talk about Minnesota and Marc-Andre Fleury shutting out the Habs in his final game at the Bell Center. What a freaking moment that was. That was so cool, man. And especially all the Habs players lining up to shake his hand after the game. Like, oh, you shut us out, Marc-Andre. Congratulations. Like, oh my God. So good. What a guy. Marc-Andre might go down as one of the most popular players of all time, dude. Who doesn't love this guy? What fan base doesn't love this guy? Marc-Andre has never played for the Habs. He has never put on a Montreal Canadiens jersey. He has beaten them so many times, and yet these people still love him. Vegas loves him. Pittsburgh loves him, and how can you not? It's Marc-Andre freaking Fleury. So congratulations to Marc-Andre Fleury, and the retirement tour continues onward, and fucking great on you, Montreal. Bell Center, best crowd in the business. You guys are phenomenal, and just so much respect. So much respect. Now let's talk about Hartman. Hartman lacks respect. Ryan Hartman just earned himself a 10-game suspension, and you gotta fuck up to get a 10-game suspension, man. So what did he do that was so bad? Well, if you're familiar with wrestling, do you know what a DDT is? That's when you hook a guy around the neck and then you just kind of drive his head down into the ground. That's essentially what Ryan Hartman did to Timmy Stützle of the Ottawa Senators. During a face-off, Hartman clearly just kind of wraps his head around Stützle and just drives his head down into the ground. Stützle cut open, blood, not good. And, yep, they review it, give him a big penalty, 10-game suspension, get fucked. Sucks to suck, man, but Ryan Hartman's got a history of this, kind of a dirty player, and yeah, they threw the fucking book at him, and that's what happens, man. That's what happens unless you're Connor McDavid, and then they throw the book at you if you're in that situation. But yeah, man, not a good play. Really ugly, just stupid, brain dead, dumb. Don't like that. So there you go, Ryan Hartman. Hopefully you learn a lesson. You're gonna lose thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, and sucks to suck. So there you go. But hopefully, as far as I don't know if Timmy Stützle had like any serious injury from that. He got right back up, went to the bench. He seemed okay outside of the blood pouring out from his head. But yeah, don't be a fucking idiot, freaking Ryan Hartman. And speaking of being idiots, what the fuck is the Buffalo Sabres problem? Their superstar Tage Thompson got brained, absolutely brained by, Stefan Nason on New Jersey? And zero, and I say motherfucking zero response from the Buffalo Sabres as a team. No one went over to address the situation. No one even fucking barely bothered to check on poor Tage Thompson over there. No wonder no one wants to play for this stupid fucking team. Guys are so discombobulated, you don't care about each other, and just gross, man. Just gross. I know Tuck and other guys came out and said some things. Oh, that's never going to happen again, but it happened. It just happened, and that is ugly, man. That was a gross hit. No discipline on that hit either. From what I heard, there was going to be no discipline on that hit. Looked fucking like a head hit to me, but all right. So Tage Thompson gets brained, just exposes the Buffalo Sabres of the shambles that is that locker room and the disconnect between the players, and just, I imagine the pure misery that is playing for the Buffalo Sabres organization right now and for the last decade or two. Regardless, just another bad story coming out of Buffalo. When will things ever go right for that freaking team, man? I don't know if we're ever going to see it. All right, let's talk about Utah. Talking about Utah, so they've rounded down their names to the final 3 names. Sadly, Yeti is out of contention. They could not strike a deal with Yeti, the cup. I have that. You know what? I like Yeti. I love their cup. It keeps my coffee hot for hours and hours and hours, and I love it. Sadly, they couldn't come to an agreement, and Yeti is now out. So the final 3 names that we have for the Utah is Mammoth, Hockey Club, or Wasatch. Oh yeah, and the response to Wasatch was a big resounding, what the fuck is a Wasatch? Well, the Wasatch is a mountain range found in Utah, and apparently is also the name of some sort of mythological creature that may or may not involve snow. So they're trying to, I don't know, why didn't you just call him the abominable, okay, maybe that's why they didn't call him the abominable snowman, because it's hard to say. They could have called him the snowman, the mean snowman, the violent snowman, the angry snowman. Anyway, sucks. I guess it kind of sucks. Now, I am a little bit weird. I am in the market of, I kind of like Hockey Club. I like Utah HC. I think it sounds cool. It sounds a little old school, and honestly, it stands out a little bit in the NHL. And it's not all that uncommon, like soccer teams, football, whatever you want to call it, they do that all the time. Manchester United FC, I don't think they're actually called, but football club, they call them that all the time. And I kind of like HC, man. Like, I don't like saying Hockey Club. I like saying UHC or Utah HC. I like the acronym. I think the acronym is good. I like that acronym. Now, Mammoth, I don't hate Mammoth either. I think I like it because it doesn't end with an S, which there's only, I think, 6 or 7 teams that have that. Mostly Red Wings, Maple Leafs, Canucks. Not a lot of teams are just Mammoth. You got Kraken, you got Avalanche, you got Wild. There's not a lot of those. So that also kind of stands out, kind of cool. And then Wasatch, I just don't think it's going to work, man. I get what they're doing. They're trying to give you something for Yeti to fill that void, but I don't think that's going to work. It seems like the response to that was not very good, even by the people that live in Utah. They're like, what the fuck is that? They're like, it's that mountain range right over there, you idiot. But regardless, I'm fine with any of them, honestly. I really don't care. I wish I could see the mock-ups for the jerseys. Apparently, if you went to the games, they would have like service stations where you can go and like see what the mock-ups for the outfits are going to be with the names and everything, and I would have loved to seen that. Now, I know there are pictures out there, like someone drew up the uniforms by memory and all that shit, but whatever. It's not that big of a deal. I don't think they've already, like, I think the answer is easy. I think the answer is Utah Hockey Club. You've already been the Utah Hockey Club this whole year. Like, there you go. Like, I think everyone wanted Yeti. You can't have it, so, oh well, I guess we'll just why don't you just stay the Hockey Club until Yeti becomes available or something? I don't know, like, fuck. Why'd they put the time frame on themselves? They're already playing, so, like, why not push it a little bit? But if you think you can get Yeti, then push it a little bit and get it. If that's what you really want, like, get it. I think you can get it. You should be able to get it. You just got to figure out how much money you got to pay them. But maybe you can work together and that could be your logo, a big Yeti cup with fucking, yeah, I don't know. Regardless, I don't think it's all that big of a deal, but I did see the response to Wasatch, and I thought it was kind of funny. All right, everybody, it is time again for the NHL Quarter Century Team Corner. Let's finish this off. I think it's all done now because they haven't done any since the 31st, so I think it's done. I think we've gotten through all of the teams, so we only have 2 left: the Edmonton Oilers and the Utah Hockey Club. So let's do the Oilers. First team: Leon Draisaitl, Connor McDavid, and Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. All right. Let me see what's going on down there. Yeah, no Taylor Hall. A little bit interesting. Taylor Hall was a good Oiler. He wasn't amazing, but he was pretty good. Jordan Eberle had some good years there as well. But all right. I mean, Leon Connor, that's undeniable, absolutely. And Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, man, he's been very good. I know he had that 100-point season. He's probably never going to see that again, but I'm fine with Ryan Nugent-Hopkins there. I think that's pretty cool. All right. You got Evan Bouchard and Darnell Nurse for the first team defense. Bouchard, okay. But they had Pronger there, though. Did they not in 2007? You had Chris Pronger there. Who's that? They had Sheldon Surrey. Did they? What about Whit Dog? What about the Whit Dog, Ryan Whitney? Nah, I think Evan Bouchard and Darnell are they're not better than Chris Pronger, but they don't even have him here. So I know he was only there for that 1 year, I do believe, but still, that counts. Like, he was the best defenseman they have ever had. So, prior to like the coffees and shit like that, I don't know. But regardless, like, no love for Chris Pronger. I'd put Chris Pronger in there. Even he only played 1 year. He got them to the Stanley Cup final. Probably could have won him a cup. They didn't have the goalie injuries, and that goalie was Dwayne. Yep, their first team goalie is Dwayne Rollison. And I think I'm fine with that, man. Rolly, the goalie, was fucking good, man, when in his prime. And even those late years when he was there in Edmonton late in his career, he was phenomenal. Outstanding. I'm pretty sure he was the goalie in net that got hurt, and they're like, oh, if we only had him. But anyway, that's pretty good. Second team, you have Alesh Hemsky, Sean Horkoff, and Ryan Smith. Thinking. I mean, these were the really good players on their team during some very not great years for the Oilers. Sean Horkoff, man, he was such a great defensive player in the NHL hockey games. I always had him there. Alesh Hemsky was very skilled, very underrated. You don't hear a lot about that guy, but he was a really good Oiler. And then Ryan Smith, man, the Captain Canada or whatever the fuck. He's a legend in Edmonton. Very, very, very popular player, and he was very, very good. But is he better than like a Taylor Hall, like Jordan Eberle and shit like that? I could be in an art. I could see an argument there, but I think you got to give those old guys the love there a little bit. On defense, you got Matthias Ekholm and Jason Smith. I don't remember Jason Smith. I can't say I do. And Matthias Ekholm, for what he has done, the impact that he's brought to the team since he arrived there, like, yeah, he is very, very good for them. I can get behind. I'm trying to think of some other defensemen that played for them. Really, I think I threw them all out there with the Surrey and Whitney. What's that guy's name? Clefbaum, man. I think he would make this list if the injuries didn't fuck him over, man. I really liked that player when he was there. And then Tommy Salo in net. I think I can be down with that. He had wasn't the greatest goalie, but yeah, he had his moments there. I mean, Jeff Skinner, he's just, again, very similar. Like, he has his moments, but fuck, does he have his bad moments too? And when he's bad, he's really bad. But he got them to the Stanley Cup final. They almost won. If he won that cup, I think he would be in there. But yeah, you can argue. What about Cam Talbot? I think, didn't Cam Talbot have a very good year for them there as well? What other, fucking my boy, I'm trying to remember his name. Ooh, from Dallas, my boy, Jack Campbell. I know it all fell apart for him once he got there, but I love you, Jack. I always gonna love you, but that's the Edmonton Oilers. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. It's definitely interesting. I can't really recall all the names of the players from, like, the early 2000s and shit, but I'm happy to see Alesh Hemsky there. That's pretty cool. All right, let's do the last team. It's the Utah Hockey Club. That, now take note that they are not, this isn't Arizona. This is the Utah Hockey Club. So you're not going to see Shane Doan. You're not going to see fucking Nagy. You're not going to see, who else played for them? Who cares? Sean Burke, anyone? All right, so first team for Utah Hockey Club. Logan Cooley, Dylan Genther, and Clayton Keller. I love that. Logan Cooley, he's really been breaking out this year. He's fantastic. Same with his buddy, Dylan Genther, man. He just had a big game. He's been phenomenal this year. And Clayton Keller, love that guy. Absolutely, I'm good with that. Wow, look at that defense. Michael Kesselring and Mikhail Sergachev. I don't really know how Kesselring's been doing, but I guess he's been doing decently. Who the fuck else do they have? Hold on, Utah. No, they didn't get Montour. Who else is playing for those guys over there? Don't they have Sean Dursey? You're not going to give Sean Dursey any fucking love? Jeez, that's kind of fucked up, but okay. And then they put Karl Vejmelka there. over Connor Ingram, eh? I mean, Vejmelka's been better this year over Ingram, so yeah, I guess so. And then second team, you have Alexander Kerfoot, Jack McBain, Nick Schmaltz. Okay, I'm down with Nick Schmaltz. I'm fucking good with that. Ian Cole and Oli Mata. In what fucking universe do we live in that those players are on a fucking all team? So there you go. Ian Cole, a fine defensive defenseman. Oli Mata, okay. Connor Ingram. So he was fantastic last year. Great story. And yeah, he's been battling it a little bit this year, but I like Connor Ingram. So there's the Utah Hockey Club, and that's all of those things. The quarter century team. Very interesting. Some of those lists were really fucking weird. A lot of them were pretty good. Overall, that was a fun experiment right there. So there we go. And I think let's finish it off. It's been a long time since we did an NHL stats update. So let's go ahead and take a look at the stats. Let's take a look at who's leading the league right now and everything. All right, in terms of points, let's take a look at that top 10 right here. All right, number 1, Nathan MacKinnon with 80 points already. Holy shit. You got Leon Draisaitl, 79, Kucherov, 77, Connor McDavid all the way down there at 70. So McKinnon's kind of starting to run away with it. Connor McDavid's missed a couple of games, but Leon's right there. Mitch Marner in the top 4, 70 points. Kyle Connor, 67. Pasternak, 66. Mikko Rantanen. How has Mikko Rantanen been doing since he got there into Carolina? I know he scored his first goal there. All right, he hasn't been tearing it up or anything, so not a lot of points going on there for Mikko Rantanen, and his time is down. He's only doing 18, 19 minutes there. Definitely not the 25, 27 minutes he's used to in Colorado, so a little bit nervous there. Jack Eichel's having a great season, 66 points, so many assists. Jack Hughes, 63. Mark Scheifele, 61. All right, so those are your top point leaders right now. In terms of goals, you got Leon Draisaitl in the lead with 37, but hat-trick Willie right behind him with 33 goals. Oh my, if Willie wins the Rocket, I will cream my shorts. I don't know if he can do it. Just don't know, but he's doing great. Mark Scheifele is in the mix. 31 goals for Marcus. Wow, good for you. Sam Reinhart shutting up all those people saying that that was a lucky year. He's got 31, and Kyle Connor at 30. That's your top 5. Assists. Nathan MacKinnon has 60 assists, more assists than he's played games. Marner, 54. Kucherov, 52. McDavid, 48. And Jack Eichel, 48. And that's a lot of assists, man. You still got quite a bit of the season to go, and I don't think Kucherov's tracking to hit 100 assists this year, but who knows? Maybe he could. Plus minus, we don't really care about, but Kirill Marchenko, want to shout out that guy. He is on the injured reserve list right now, which sucks, especially for my fantasy team, because he's been so freaking good. Man, Marchenko has been a stud this year. I think next week I'll talk about, I'll bring up some players that I think are having underratedly amazing seasons, and we'll talk about that, and I believe Kirill Marchenko will definitely be in that conversation. He's been outstanding for Columbus. Penalty minutes, we don't really care, but we all know Zadorov is leading. Power play goals, whatever. All right, let's go to the goalies. All right, goals against average. All right. Connor Hellebuyck, 204. Darcy Kemper, 216. Logan Thompson, 218. Jacob Markstrom, 220. And Jake Ottinger, 231 are your top goaltenders in the league. Save percentage, the one that I really care about. Connor Hellebuyck, 925. Outstanding. Logan Thompson, 923. Outstanding. Kemper, 921. Outstanding. Wow. And Andrei Vasilevsky, the 918, tied with Mackenzie Blackwood. So Vasilevsky's back. Blackwood's been outstanding for Colorado. He had back-to-back shutouts. What the fuck? Goalie wins, 33 for Connor Hellebuyck is by far and away the most. The next is 26 for Jake Ottinger. Really looks like Connor Hellebuyck going to win a Vezina, right? Yeah, I think he's going to have that Vezina. So there's your stat leaders right there, and I think that's all I want to do for this episode. Thank you, everybody, so much for listening. You the best. You want to be even more of the best, so make sure you're reviewing and liking the podcast. Share it around with a few of your friends, maybe an enemy or two. Why not? And, in terms of what we got going on with the podcast this week, had the Rumble last weekend. The Rumble was insane. If you missed it, go check out the review for that Royal Rumble. It was a fun one. Not the best Rumble in the world, but it was a damn fine Rumble, I will say. And, just did the HockeyCast, of course, and this week's GamerCast will be a review of Nine Souls. I believe I have enough to do a full review. If I don't, I will throw in like top hardest games, hardest bosses, something like that as well. But I think we're going to be doing a Nine Souls conversation this week, so be on the lookout for that. And I upload all of these episodes to the YouTube channel, GamerGX Videos. Link in the description. Go check it out. Subscribe, follow along, all that great stuff. You want a question answered live on the podcast, anything about wrestling, video games, or hockey would be preferred. Send in, drop a comment on a YouTube channel. Got an email address. And there's a Twitter page, but I don't really use it anymore because Twitter is basically dead. But it is what it is. All right, everybody. One more time, thank you so much for listening. And we'll be back again with some more GX Bloodkid.